what's fucking happening in the basement, anime? Man, I'm back in the new year with content. My guys, I'm talking about the good shit. I'm talking about the big goods. You thought we were talking trash in this episode? You were nearly correct. I have been binging too much anime recently, so I'm going to unload every single series I've seen front to back every week until I get bored. That sound good? Good. Alright, let's jump in with Hinamatsuri. Now, Hinamatsuri is the one anime that I knew I would love from the moment I read the premise. It centers around Yoshifumi Nita, who is a Yakuza member that has a whole collection of prized vases. Suddenly, he has a whole-ass egg dropped on his head from another dimension, and he goes to bed early. Of course. He comes back to find out that the egg is actually a girl, a whole-ass girl named Hina, who's not only a fucking brat, but it's also psychokinetic. My girl decides to go to middle school to make friends and live a normal 13-year-old life, and goes back home, only to have her powers malfunction and overload, causing an explosion that not only destroys Nita's apartment, but his fucking vase collection too. So obviously, Nita becomes her guardian and finds some ways to let her use her powers freely, which involve, but are not limited to, construction work, helping with the garbage, taking down the mafia faction, rock, paper, scissors. I actually really enjoyed this entire series front to back, as it doesn't hold your hand through the journey of not only one character, but basically the entire cast. It's like Durarara, but instead of street gang crime violence, we have psychokinetic Yakuza slice of life homeless child labour adventures. There is a super comforting amount of film and series references throughout the entire series, such as the Terminator reference at the end of the first episode, and I've already forgotten the rest. There is a storyline here. Every single story, every single episode, we have another storyline, and it all coincides with each other, much like Durarara, or Skins, and then it comes back together right at the final episode for this fantastically wholesome ending. I don't think I have to go into full depth for the fucking awesome kung fu fight right at the beginning, because it slapped hard. So hard, in fact, that I forgot about it right after the first episode. Why did I forget something as badass as this when it was so fucking cool? I do really know. I do really know, but I'm so glad that it hit me right back when I needed it to the most. The whole show creates stories and concludes the same stories in the most satisfying ways. Every episode of this show is uncomfortably wholesome. I say uncomfortably. I sometimes find myself tearing up at the genuine connections that the show gives characters. Like we have Hitomi, who gets suckered into a life of independence and high-class capitalism. Anzu learns the value of humanity and becomes fucking homeless for the majority of the series, only to become the most humble character ever to be part of a series. And Mao deserves the world. Honestly, one actual angel. The music in the show is sweet, and it jumps right in when it needs to be, giving it just the right amount of slice of life joy to make every moment that much more memorable. All I can really say that truly rings hardest for me is that these children get done so dirty. I'm not talking Boku Rano levels of dirty, where kids get tricked into piloting a whole-ass robot in exchange for their lives. I'm talking life doing these children the rudest for no reason. That's right. We've got Children Getting Done Dirty, the sequel. It's amazing. Why they gotta make my girl fucking homeless? Why is Anzu fucking homeless? To build character and to teach her the value of humbleness. Why my girl Hitomi snatched up by the ruthless talon of capitalism? Cause life is cruel. Honestly, it's just heartbreaking watching how dirty these kids get done because they are like 13. And the way that these adults take full advantage of them is just pain. You really see every single side to these characters, giving you the full sense of understanding when it comes to why they're upset, what makes them happy, their humanity and their goals and what they really want from this life. You notice changes in their personality through moments that really add the humanity to these weird alien psychic girls. I'm also legally obligated to tell you about the beach episode. Back at it. It was just like... It's like a Kamega Kill, where the new girl Mao gets transported to a desert island, super reminiscent of that one Tom Hanks movie Castaway where man chats gas to a coconut. It's beautiful, man. It's so good. I genuinely tear up at like every single damn episode, and I've only really scraped the top. Like, this show just has everything. I don't think that I'm even exaggerating when I say that this show has something for anyone. It's got a story arc for every single character. It's got magical martial arts. It's got alien psychic girls, crazy-faced adults manipulating little girls. Hitomi is best girl, and I can't be convinced otherwise. The last episode clears up every single question I've ever had about the series, even if I was somewhat still feeling sorry for every damn character. Every single fucking character in this show, whenever anyone gets hurt, says owie in response. And when I had hoped it would carry on throughout the entire series, lo and behold, it actually does. It's been a long time coming, and sorry, let me just fucking go back. So, every character, when they get hurt, they do say owie. Like, it's hard. Like, it's so hard. Even the first, second episodes, Hina takes down the Yakuza faction. Imagine 50 plus people saying owie in unison. Beautiful. It's like an orchestra. It's so good. It's it's been a long time coming, and I'm not even surprised. It's not surprising at all. But I'm gonna do it. Someone better hold me back, because I'm gonna... Hinamatsuri gets a 10 out of 10. How about that? That's the first 10 out of 10 of the whole year. Let's fucking continue, bro. Let's go. So, Super HxEros. Super HxEros is the most perfect anime I've ever seen, and I'm talking every single thing that a man could ever ask for in like one show. Let me run this by you real quick. We live in a world where some mad disaster happened about half a decade ago, and now in the present day, we have heroes who battle monsters using their horny powers. People utilizing the power of their horniness to destroy monsters that, may I add, thrive on sucking the horniness out of regular ass people like you or me. We follow Enjo Reto and Hishino Kiara, who are childhood friends, and something happened that made them drift apart, but it's so fucking stupid that I'm just gonna ignore that. Ultimately, Hoshino finds Enjo fighting a horny sucker and helps him defeat it in the most tsundere fashion and extremely reluctantly, with a horny level higher than anything anyone has ever seen. This is what us experts in the biz call Fist of the Horny Star. First things first, the storyline fucking sucks. The whole storyline can be boiled down to the fact that there are aliens that suck your horny energy like some kind of hentai Goku sharing a horny bomb, and our heroes consist of 4 chicks and 1 ultra chad that have they have to defeat every single one of them before they get so horny that the world becomes flaccid, or something like that. Regardless of this fact, the whole story is genuinely very coherent. We see a very straight line from point A to B, and I completely respect that. What I respect the most though is the fact that this has a ridiculous amount of plot, so much so that I'm willing to call this basically hentai at times. A lot of times. Now, from the beginning of the series, my tsundere ass thought that Hoshino was best girl. For so long, I looked to this woman to be a beacon of hope for best girls out there, but this woman just does not know how to hit. She has Captain Marvel levels of horny, and she just represses all of it. I could have been in love, man. But this woman is a fucking imbecile. Honestly, I hate her so much. From the bottom of my heart, Hoshino is a fucking bitch. Yeah, I said it. I hate her. She obviously doesn't actually care about my man one bit. Man, if he stopped existing forever, she'd live a standard happy life. I have no idea. I have no clue how Enjo even thinks about this woman when she's just so fucking annoying. And my girl crushes the fuck Senjo Gahara and Miss Nagatoro. There's just no excuse for this amount of bitchiness. It makes no sense. I just don't understand how someone could be a repressed, horny psychopath who's as equally as possessive as she is a tsundere. Okay, So let's move on. I genuinely had a lot of fun watching the show all the way through. I secretly binged the whole damn series in a day. For an English dub, this show has legitimately amazing voice acting. The OP is a legitimate slapper. I had to rewind that shit twice, episodically, and to put it on a playlist so I don't forget. Alongside the majority of the music in this, it's just a brilliant shonen fantasy action, fun all the way through. I can't get over how hilariously complex the horny character development is. You heard me. Horny character development. Even the dog is horny. I repeat, even the dog is horny. Amazing. The show just has everything you could ask for in its current climate. It's got horny dogs. It's got big bouncy boobies and their hilarious jiggle physics. Of course, it's got fucking awesome transformation sequences, repressed sexual desires. Oh, I nearly forgot. It's got a beach episode. Oh my days. It was genuinely fucking hilarious to experience because it really felt like most of the characters were definitely fucking while recording this. I don't know what else to sell you on this show that really actually sells it. The only thing that I could really say that brings the show down in my opinion is just that the story fucking sucks. Eventually I found myself wondering why I'm even bothering with this main fucking character who has so much trash taste in women. With that in mind, I didn't entirely find myself stressing over Best Girl of this series, because realistically there wasn't much to make anyone stand out in this series. We have a shy girl who just so happens to be or have the biggest plot, a girl who doesn't have a lot or that much of a rack but dreams of better days. We have a girl who's repressed horny energy, a tsundere who fucking despised, a dude who will absolutely see a vagina after the end of this. Despite this though, I still enjoyed the show overall, so I'm going to give Super HxEros an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. So, I think I'm going to take a quick little break just to explain. Throughout all the 10 episodes that I've currently released, I have always spoken so highly of who Best Girl is. Now, Best Girl is obviously a opinion, or it is a high-class fact that Miss Senjo Gahara from Monogatari is Best Girl, or maybe even Tsubasa Hanekawa. Realistically, it could be anyone. It could even be Nino from Quintessential Quintuplets. But what makes Best Girl Best Girl? Now, anyone could be Best Girl, any single person in the world, of course, except for Yoshino, or Hoshino, sorry. But Best Girl has to be boiled down to a specific fact of how irredeemable or redeemable this character is. So you could boil down every single character or any character to a single fact of how redeemable they actually are. Characters like Tsubasa Hanekawa from Monogatari, she is completely redeemable. No matter everything she does, she's so perfect and clear, crystal white, transparent even. Characters like Senjo Gahara, who is completely irredeemable and shoved the stapler in man's fucking face in the first episode. Characters like this really has to make you think, okay, who would you be most comfortable or who would be the most fun to be with? Characters like Asuka from Neon Genesis Evangelion, or even Rei from separate series Neon Genesis Evangelion, where characters just have no good personality, but at the same time there is some kind of redeemable aspect in them. So we have to really question, with our mind's eye, who exactly would Best Girl be in Neon Genesis Evangelion? So you'd have to really point out the fact that every single character in the show is completely flawed, which would be understandable because every character is a manifestation of a human impulse or even a human mind. They're supposed to be realistic characters, but then you have to really think, who is the biggest bitch in Neon Genesis Evangelion? Is it Masato? Of course not. She's amazing. I love her. It can't be Asuka because regardless of the fact she wears an eye patch, she also comes back at the end of the movie, which is a sign. You have to really consider, who is Worst Girl? Worst Girl equals Best Girl with an asterisk. Asterisk being sometimes. So That's why. That's why Ritsuko is best girl. That's right, Ritsuko S plus best girl. Let's go. I love you, Ritsuko. Please let me get a Ritsuko waifu, please. So let's come back in with problem children are coming from another world, aren't they? Which is legitimately unlike any other isekai. Instead of watching someone grow powerful through montage, we have completely overpowered characters coming through regardless, and they make a mess of the world. This feels like what No Game No Life should have been like the whole way through, because the premise is entirely the exact same thing, with lower stakes and higher powers. We're greeted by Izayoi Sakamaki, Asuka Kudo, and Yo Kasukabe, who have these mysteriously awesome powers that are sometimes very useful, except when they really should be. Then they're sidelined to make the story more interesting. Basically, these teenagers with attitude are summoned to another world by a bunny girl. They are more or less quested with helping the no-name kingdom getting their everything back. With me? Cool. So, we're in this awesome new world greeted by Best Girl Black Rabbit, who explains that the entire world is ruled by games. That's such an ambiguous term that it could honestly mean fucking anything. So if you're familiar with No Game No Life, it's that, but cooler. Cause the teens with Tood utilize their powers constantly to make the games either more exciting or more treacherous. We genuinely have these brilliantly scripted games that are genuine character progress simulators. Like, the teams will purposefully choose the player with the lowest type advantage strictly to show off how out of the league the mains are. Like, God, well, not out of their league, out of the monsters league, out of the opponent's league that the mains are. Now, we've seen isekais, so we have to ask the main question. Is there a demon lord present? Is there a fucking demon lord present? Of course there's a fucking demon lord present. Fortunately for us though, we don't see them. Amazingly enough, I genuinely enjoyed this show much more than most isekai last year. It has a real charm that makes it stand out in a fair amount of fields, such as a very well drawn world building, some crafty people, and someone who always plans moves ahead. There's also a fantastic subtle sarcasm in the show that's very reminiscent of Konosuba or You Never Thought There's a Girl Online that exudes its realism in reactions. What can I really say about the characters though? Kasukabe can talk to animals and borrow their powers, Kudo can command anyone and anything to do whatever she commands, and Izayoi is fucking God himself, I guess. There's something amazingly refreshing about watching literal fucking God beat up damn near anyone who basically asked for it. I can't quite put my finger on it. It's like watching the Young Justice League, but it's just Batman 3 times. I gotta hand it to my main man Izayoi though, because I never had anyone keep up a cocky narcissist attitude for the entire series. But this man could keep it up, and too right too, because being literally God himself must be something else. So much that you can more or less just say whatever you want and everyone knows that your plan will win? Now, that would be pretty boring, right? If Batman made a plan to fix every situation and then they won, there'd be no problem in the first place. Where's the struggle? And that's what makes this so fucking good, is that sometimes Izayori straight up doesn't make a plan, just so that he could be a little bit more entertained. It's just really fun. So what's the final verdict for the show? Well, the music is kind of trash, so that's a problem. Of course, the OP is somewhat enjoyable, but for the rest of the series, the music is just isekai trash. Surprisingly enough though, I find myself laughing a good hefty amount during this, and the characters are definitely forgettable, all except for Black Rabbit. But no, she's just a bunny girl, you can see that anyway. Damn. Overall, I wish with all my heart that this and No Game No Life were the same show. In any other life, it could have been, and we would have had the perfect game-based isekai. So problem children from another world, problem children are coming from another world, aren't they? ? Gets a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. Well, we made it. I hope you had a good time listening to my ass talk about anime titties, but I feel blessed having the privilege. What was your favourite part of the cast? Really? Yeah, that was my favourite part too. Actually, I lied. My favourite part was where wait a minute. Where am I? Where did this Ritsuko body pillow come from? I'm Am I dreaming? Yes. Oh, God. Okay. Let's jump into my favourite segment of the show, which is, coincidentally, at the end of the show, my best girl contenders. We have Hitomi from Hinamatsuri, Chika Marusame from Super HxEros, and Black Rabbit from Problem Children. And first place goes to Hitomi from Hinamatsuri. Black Rabbit is runner-up, and Chika Marusame, Super HxEros, gets last place. Sucks to be you. Well, thanks for hanging out with us today, lads. It's been a very swell time, but I've got to go now because Mum wants me inside. It's getting cold out and I've got to bring a jacket. So with all of that, my name is Hello Kitty with the anime T. This has been the Weeaboo Corner, and now, you know what I'm going to say, don't you? You know, you have to know. Whoa, actually, shit. Let me rewind a little bit. I have to apologise firsthand about the fact that there's only got 3 shows on this one. I'm actually trying something very different, in which I'm going to review 3 anime, and I'm going to put a little bit of a segment, just a tiny little segment right in the middle of it, just to, you know, just to converse, just to talk, unscripted, unprompted. Honestly, I'm basically forcing this on you, but I'm happy to do it nonetheless. So, with that, get the hell out of my corner. Bye.
I ain't worried about a bitch, I got problems of my own, got me counting on my fingers. I'm feeling like a ninja, creeping on that Bebo, making sure I'm screenshotting all the feet pictures. Lil bitch, e-girls in my emails, derailed, trying to get the details, but your feet retail. Only fucking with the clean little toes of my waifu, I ain't never fucking with a resale. Don't even try to sell a motherfucker to your boy if another nigga's got it at the same time. That's why I only got the one little mama at your grams coming with the cookies like it's Dateline. She called me Chris Handsome. I might even take a G-Ma to the opera's Phantom. Mask off nigga, I'm flying off the handles cause I'm finna take her back to the toe sucking anthem. Saying eat a damn kasu for I eat the ass. Handkerchief on cause I'm all about the class. Never going fast, nigga.